Dear listeners, welcome to this program, live video program on the entrepreneurship development. Today we'll discuss about the meaning of the term entrepreneur, entrepreneurship, the difference between the two, and what is the entrepreneurial process all about. So let's start with the definition first. Entrepreneurship can be defined as a systematic, purposeful, creative activity of identifying a need, mobilizing resources, and organizing the production to deliver values to the customers, returns for the investors, and the profits for the entrepreneur. According to the Joseph's counter, entrepreneurship is based on the purposeful activity of an individual or group of individuals undertaken to initiate, maintain, profit by production or distribution of economic goods and services. If we talk about the characteristics of the entrepreneurship, characteristics mainly include the very first, that it should be an organized activity. Entrepreneurship is a step-by-step activity which can be attained through observation and work experience, which is possible by education and training. Why we call it as the organized activity? Because the things and the men, material resources, all the M's should be kept in an organized manner to work so that the proper functioning can take place, be it in terms of the HR, be it in terms of the production processes, be it in terms of the marketing or the service oriented processes. In all the units should be very well organized around the product or the services to create a value for the customers. Then second is the creative activity. Entrepreneurship is called as the creative activity because entrepreneur always thinks differently and wants to carry out activities that are unique, which may include introducing a new product or identification of a new market. So it is called as creative activity also. Then legal activity. Entrepreneurship is about carrying out the business within the rules and regulations of the state or the government. So lawful business of conduct is mandatory and it does not cover any of the illegal activities. So it means generating the revenues through satisfaction of the customers ethically, morally, which is correct within the purview of the state laws or the central government laws. So next important characteristic of the entrepreneurship is it involves risk. Entrepreneur always works on the principle of no risk, no gain. Risk is an inseparable element of entrepreneurship. One of the most important factors in the entrepreneur's success is their risk-taking ability. An entrepreneur has to prove that how much risk he can take and what it is worth for, and whether he can convert it into a good venture or not. An entrepreneur has to provide wages to the workers, rent of the land if it is a rented building, and many other expenses without any assurance of his or her own profit. So it assumes a greater risk than any other profession or any other employee working in any other sector. So it involves the risk. Next is the decision making. Decision making is an important entrepreneurial characteristic because a decision is a course of action which is consciously chosen from among a multiple of alternatives to achieve the desired results. As entrepreneurship involves both risk and uncertainty, decision making is crucial on the part of the entrepreneurs to establish and run the enterprise successfully. Then accepting challenges. While choosing entrepreneurship as a career, entrepreneur accepts the challenges and puts his or her efforts to convert them into viable business opportunities by bringing together all the resources required for building and running the enterprise. Next is the skillful management. Since entrepreneurship is all about putting men, material, resources at one place and working around the policies and within the rules and regulations set up by the center and the state. It involves a skillful management of all the units, all the resources which have been put together. Next is the comparison between entrepreneur and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneur is a person, while entrepreneurship is a process. Entrepreneur is an organizer, while entrepreneurship is an organized form of initiative. Entrepreneur is a risk taker, while entrepreneurship is a risk-taking activity. Entrepreneur is an innovator, while entrepreneurship is a process of innovation. Entrepreneur is a decision maker, and entrepreneurship is a decision-making activity. Entrepreneur is a leader. Entrepreneurship is a mixture of leadership. Entrepreneur is a visualizer. Entrepreneurship is the vision. Entrepreneur is the administrator. Entrepreneurship is the administration. Entrepreneur is an initiator, while entrepreneurship is a taking an initiative. If we talk about the role of entrepreneurship in economic growth, then it can be said that this primarily involves acting as a catalyst to nurture the entrepreneurs and corporate entrepreneurs in a business organization, providing government grant and subsidy to existing and would-be entrepreneurs to aid their business development. Providing entrepreneurs in the SMI or SME various types of business loans to act as an impetus for business and economic growth in the nation. To facilitate this, various business developments of entrepreneurs like commercial banks, SME bank, Exim banks, they provide the support. Providing knowledge and information through seminars, conferences, exhibitions and various businesses, small businesses or entrepreneurial business e-portals, it helps and aids in the economic growth of the country. So, the entrepreneurial process is about pursuing a new venture or a business, whether it is a new product going into an existing market or existing product going into a new market, or the creation of a totally new organization. First, entrepreneurial process. Entrepreneurial process, the very first step is the creation process, creating something new of a value. Second is requires the commitment of the necessary time and effort. Appreciate and understand the importance of time and effort devoted to create something new and make it workable. Third is the entrepreneurial process. It involves the enjoyment of the rewards, freedom to take the decision, monetary rewards after the effort has taken place, followed by the personal satisfaction. So, the entrepreneurial process we can say that it has 4 distinct stages in it. First is identification and evaluation of the opportunity. Second is the development of the business plan. Third, determination of the required resources. Fourth, management of the resulting enterprise. Next, we come to the types of enterprises. Types of enterprises are mainly include 2 types of enterprises. One is the manufacturing enterprises. Second is the service enterprises. Manufacturing enterprises are those enterprises which are engaged in manufacturing or production of the goods, defined in terms of investment in plant and machinery, excluding land and building. So, if we talk about the manufacturing enterprises, it involves 3 basic categories in it. One is the micro enterprises involving investment up to 25 lakhs. Then we have small enterprises and medium enterprises. So, we will take a break here for a few minutes. Thank you.
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो, धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो,
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
मित्रों हम उठे और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय का है द्वार खुला सबकी खातिर। शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर।
शिक्षा और परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बात,
कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने, स्वयं बने, हम
Welcome back. Now we have with us Director Vocational Dr. Ashminder Singh Bahel, who will brief you about the NIOS and the various courses being offered by NIOS by the Vocational Education Department, which provides the entrepreneurial opportunities also to the students. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Shivali. A very good afternoon to each of our viewers, and I re-welcome you on behalf of NIOS. I want to tell you something about National Institute of Open Schooling. We are a national board at par with CBSE, that is Central Board of Secondary Education. We are at par with them. While CBSE looks after all the students that go formally to school, we look after all the students or learners who have not been able to exploit the opportunity of formal schooling system. At the same time, in vocationalization of education, we do help out students even in the schools to take up courses that deal with vocational education. It will be surprising for you to know that we run about 100 plus vocational education courses in 6 different fields: agriculture and animal husbandry. Shivali, even in business and commerce, the field that you are looking into, it is extremely vast, and not just, we are looking after training secretaries or looking after training people to learn about typing or e-typing, but it goes well beyond that into making them become an entrepreneur. Now, That is second of our fields. Then we have computer and information technology, engineering and technology, home science and hospitality, health and paramedical sciences. The list is endless. But these are the 6 key sectors that we involve in to run 100+ courses. You'll also be happy to learn that we have been awarded Excellence Award by Commonwealth of Learning. They don't do that easily, which means they have recognized that our system of learning is really good and can be followed by other open and distance learning institutions of the world. In addition to this, we are the world's largest open and distance learning education system. In fact, I would like to share with you with great pride that we are training 1.3 million teachers from last 1 year in diploma in elementary education at the remotest corners of our country. Never before, and probably very difficult to replicate, never again, such a large program could be done by any other institution. At the same time, when we talk of various courses that we run, we make our courses NSQF compliant. That means National Skills Qualification Framework compliant. So that these courses can be recognized by different institutions who see our certification. As regards to the activities of providing opportunities to become an entrepreneur is concerned, our main aim in any of the NIOS courses is that we make sure that he does not need anybody's help. He develops those skills and competencies, whether they are professional or core skills, that make him dependent on himself so as to earn his livelihood. He could be self-employed. He could take up a job with somebody else, but at the same time, he could become an entrepreneur and he could provide jobs to the other people. He could be the foundation stone for others to lean back on. And that is our aim as far as National Institute of Open Schooling is concerned. Shivali has been telling you in great details about what is an entrepreneur, what is entrepreneurship, what is the manufacturing process. But at the same time, I would like to tell you something very nice. It is more important that as an entrepreneur, you should be confident of yourself. The skills that you require to perform so that that product or service can be provided, that skill must be with you. And if that skill is with you, then nobody can put you down and you will be highly successful. Remember, in all the bases of entrepreneurship and to become an entrepreneur, it is very important that the person has the skills, the confidence, and above all, motivation to others that he will succeed. This is really important. The belief in yourself that not only can you succeed, but you can provide livelihood to a large number of people. The second important point as far as an entrepreneur is concerned is quality. Today, all over the world, people want a product or service of high quality. And this product or service that you will provide of high quality should be at a reasonable cost, which is affordable by many. Then only as an entrepreneur, especially when you start something new at a low cost, you will succeed. You have to beat the competition in front of you. You have to beat them at their game. Not only do you have the skill, but you also provide that product or service at the best of quality at extremely reasonable cost. You can never go wrong. And that is the key to success if you have to be an entrepreneur. I'll go back to Shivali and then I'll keep jumping in, if you do not mind, at wherever I feel I need to give the inputs. Shivali.
Right, sir. You're very right in saying that quality is a very important aspect, be it any organization, be it any industry, manufacturing or service. Quality, if we deliver the quality product, it creates the value. And if the value gets created, customer is satisfied. So that's how the entire process goes. So in continuation to our topic of types of enterprises, manufacturing enterprises, we said that they are mainly involved in the manufacturing of the products or the goods. They are engaged in producing the goods through the processing of the raw materials or semi-finished goods into the finished goods with both machines and manpower. The products could be of any extractive nature, wherein it could involve the analytical type of goods, or the synthetic goods, or any processing of the sugar and assembling industry. They all come under the manufacturing types. Then we have service enterprises.
Shivali, I would like to interrupt you here, and to my friendly viewers, I would like to highlight one aspect. You know, the product that you choose must be linked to the skill that you have developed. In case your skill is not adequate in that area, please do not jump in and think that I will be able to learn it on the job. It doesn't happen. First, learn the skill, identify the product or the service that you will provide, and then go for it. And remember, it is very important that when you are choosing a product, choose such a product that requires minimum resources but gives you maximum outcomes. Sorry, Shivali, I just came in.
It's all right, sir. You have rightly said that a person should be very, very clear about his idea, which he wants to convert into a product or a service, or finally, I should say, into a value. So, once the idea is clear, then he is clear about what he has to do, around what resources he has to work on, and with what results he has to come up in the service of the society. So, service enterprises are enterprises which are involved in providing and rendering of the services. They again could be of micro, small or medium nature. Micro enterprises involve the investment up to the 10 lakhs, and small enterprises involve investment above the 25 lakhs and up to 5 crores. Medium enterprises involves the investment above the 5 crores and up to the limit of 10 crores. Various government policies are there to help the entrepreneurs to start their projects, fund their schemes, and meet their objectives, realize their dreams. So, recent initiatives by the Government of India in this field are Prime Minister's Employment Generation Scheme, Rajiv Gandhi Udyami Mitra Yojana, microfinance institutions, women entrepreneurship and other related schemes like STEP, TREAD, Rashtriya Mahila Kosh and other initiatives. Before I come to the other initiatives, let me first explain all these in a brief manner so that we can have an idea about what kind of support is being provided by the government to the entrepreneurs. First, starting with the Prime Minister's Employment Generation Scheme. A national level credit link subsidy scheme, normally called as the Prime Minister's Employment Generation Program. It was introduced in the August 2008 by merging erstwhile PMRY and REGP schemes of the ministry. The main objectives of this new scheme was to generate the employment opportunities in rural as well as urban areas of the country through setting up of the new employment ventures, projects and micro enterprises. Second objective was to bring together widely dispersed traditional artisans, rural or urban, unemployed youth, and give them the self-employment opportunities to the extent possible at their place. Third objective, to provide the continuous and sustainable employment to a large segment of the traditional and prospective artisans and rural and urban unemployed youth in the country.
Shivali, again I'd like to interrupt by giving some practical examples of this. You know, the Ministry of Textiles, they have come out with two such schemes for all those learners who are viewing this. One is for handloom weaving and second is for handicraft artisans. Now, in the handloom weaving, they found that there are 83.3 million handloom weavers in India. But, you know, more than 80% of them, 83 lakh weavers are there, but more than 80% of them are not even 10th or 12th class qualified. Leave aside being trained on their job formally. So what we decided was that with the help of the funds which have been allocated by Ministry of Textiles, we will reach these weavers, and especially for 3 category weavers, the training is virtually free, and this is for SC/ST, BPL category and women. And imagine in a trade where there are large number of women, the training is virtually free with 75% of the training fee, course fee being provided by Ministry of Textiles. And we have also, the National Institute of Open Schooling has also subsidized it so that the weaver community, that is their, the weavers themselves and their children, especially if they are girl child, and if they belong to these three categories, the training is virtually free. So what do we do in these courses? We provide them an opportunity for 10th and 12th class certification while learning their trade, which means they learn fiber to fabric, they learn handloom weaving, they learn dyeing and printing, and then they also have a subject called entrepreneurship, along with a language. Now do this, not only are they going to get 10th and 12th class certification, but they are also learning how to be an entrepreneur, and at the same time they hone on their skills in the traditional field that they have been for years, but nobody has taught them not just their particular specialized skills in that area, but in all parts of India, and how they should do business, especially e-marketing today when it is so important that they have to compete with the best of companies. It's an opportunity for all those who are seeing this program. If you feel that you belong to the weaver community and to these three trades, get on to our website, National Institute of Open Schooling website, and just learn about this course which we are doing, handloom weaving course which we are doing along with Ministry of Textiles. The second is handicraft artisans course. Recently we conducted 30 days of intensive training for SC, 100 of them in Varanasi, in Indian embroidery, entrepreneurship, functional English and functional Hindi. Can you believe it? People who are in that area, in that field, and who want to learn and or hone on their skills in embroidery, along with these subjects can also start their own business. And this is being done in Varanasi. I'm sure that it can spread to all over the country, though the funds are being given by Ministry of Textiles only for SCs, that is scheduled caste. But if you want to learn, our courses are very cheap. I'm sure that the Indian embroidery course could be taken up, and in addition to that, the entrepreneurship course could be taken up and you can become an entrepreneur in your own right. Thank you, Shivali.
Thank you, sir. In addition to this, the other objective of this program, as we discussed, that to increase the wage earning capacity of the artisans and contribute to the increase in the growth rate of the rural and urban employment. Under this program of Prime Minister's Employment Generation Scheme, the financial assistance is provided for setting up of micro enterprises costing up to 10 lakhs in service sector and 25 lakhs in the manufacturing sector. This assistance is provided in the form of the subsidy up to 25% and 35% for the special category, including the weaker sections of the project cost in rural areas, while it is 15% for urban areas. Next initiative by the...
How do we, Shivali, how does a learner understand that where does he go to identify these opportunities of getting funding or getting some loans? So how does he do that?
So the candidate will first have to decide on the format of the business organization he wants to opt for. Be it the sole proprietorship, partnership, joint stock company, and the scale of operations. It's a small enterprise, medium enterprise, or a large enterprise, and the type of product or service he or she wants to venture into. Accordingly, the norms are to be checked for, suppose if he has opted for the sole proprietorship, then registration is required. The, registration might not be required, but only with the local authority it is to be recorded.
So what you are saying is that if the person wants to do a particular type, manufacture a particular type of product, he goes to that particular ministry's website if they are giving any assistance or schemes, or there are any funding things or employment generation schemes that are there in that ministry. He could also look at different websites where such schemes are regularly promoted. Is that correct?
Right, sir. Right, sir. He or she might have to form a business proposal. There are various stages of formation of the business proposal, and the submission of project report is required before taking any kind of a financial support from those organizations and these schemes of the ministry. So before we detail upon these factors, let us take a break of few minutes here.
I think, yeah.
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने
अपना दीपक स्वयं बने हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो
मित्रों हम उठे और जागे
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने
राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय का है द्वार खुला सबकी खातिर शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर
शिक्षा और परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बात
कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने स्वयं बने हम
Next scheme of Government of India is the Rajiv Gandhi Udyami Mitra Yojana. The objective of this scheme is to provide hand-holding support and assistance to the potential first-generation entrepreneurs who have already successfully completed their training programs, be it EDP, SGP or any vocational training program through the selected led agencies of that is Udyami Mitras in the establishment and management of the new enterprise, dealing with the various procedural and legal hurdles and in completion of the various formalities required for setting up and running an enterprise. Beneficiaries again are belonging to the SC, ST, physically handicapped women beneficiaries from northern eastern region as well, but they are not required to pay any contribution for availing this support. So, this is an added advantage for them. New component in this scheme has been added in the existing scheme of Rajiv Gandhi Udyami Mitra Yojana, namely Udyami Helpline, which gives free access of information and guidance to the potential entrepreneurs throughout the country by making a provision of toll-free number of helpline, which is 1800 180 6763. This provides basic information of how to set up an enterprise, various schemes being implemented for the promotion of the MSMEs, accessing the loans from the banks, further contacts for obtaining the detailed information. So, next is the microfinance institutions. Microfinance means providing loans, savings and other basic financial services to the marginal groups, low income groups or to those who do not have access to the typical banking services. A microfinance institution is an organization that provides microfinance services. They range from small non-profit organizations to the large commercial banks. They have generally programs which are targeted for the poor women to provide the financial assistance. Next is the women.
Yeah, Shivali, I would like to share some thought with you here on microfinancing. Micro, as the word says, is small. मतलब छोटा सा finance. थोड़ा finance में entrepreneur बनना. Now, I'll give you a practical example of what I saw. I was posted in the Indian Embassy in Dhaka, and there is a gentleman called Professor Yunus who has got the Nobel Prize for microfinancing. Now, they used to disburse loans in Bangladesh for 5,000 takas, which is equal to 4,500 rupees to become a small entrepreneur like, pisciculture or, dealing with farming or dealing with poultry farming. So something like that. The women, and it was mainly for women, and 5,000 takas meaning 4,500 rupees, they used to set up a business, and the return rate of that loan was 95%. And the villages that I visited were transformed, where this loan was being effectively used by the women of that village to become an entrepreneur or a small business. So microfinancing doesn't mean that you require phenomenal resources. What it requires is will to succeed and an idea and the skill to have to put that idea into action. Shivali.
Right, sir. So, another initiative, especially for the women, is the various female entrepreneurship. And this has, steadily risen in the last few decades. And in order to empower the women, many schemes are in force, especially for the women entrepreneurs. And some of them are like support to training and employment program for women STEP. Objective of this scheme is to mobilize women in small viable groups and make facilities available through and access to credit. Second is to provide training for skill upgradation. Third is to enable groups of women to take up employment cum income generation programs by providing backward and forward linkages. Then we have another objective of this scheme is to provide support services for further improving training and employment conditions for the women. The scheme covers mainly traditional sectors of the employment: agriculture, animal husbandry, dairy, fisheries, handlooms, handicrafts, khadi and village industries. And the target group includes the wage laborers, unpaid daily laborers, and the migrant laborers and the tribal groups. Second women entrepreneurship related scheme is the TREAD, Trade Related Entrepreneurship Assistance and Development Scheme. TREAD scheme envisages economic empowerment of the women through trade related training, information and counseling extension activities related to the trades, products, services, etc. The main objective of this scheme is to make the credit available to the women applicants through NGOs who would be capable of handling funds in an appropriate manner. these NGOs will also provide them adequate counseling on how to start and the training and how to go about it, and assistance in developing the markets also. The main features of this scheme include credit, training and counseling, 3 aspects, and the focus of the scheme is primarily on the out of school girls. An integrated package of services comprising nutrition and non-nutrition components are provided to adolescent girls. The nutrition component targeting out of the school girls between 11 and 14 and all girls in the 14 to 18 age groups. The following the services which are provided under this scheme is nutrition provision, IFA supplementation, health checkup and referral services, education in nutrition and health, counseling and guidance on family welfare, adolescence and other issues, child care practices and home management, education in life skills on accessing the public services, how to utilize the various facilities being provided by the government, how to access the websites, how to make use of the available resources, then vocational training for the girls, and the services under this scheme include Anganwadi facilities also. Then another is Rashtriya Mahila Kosh. National Credit Fund for the Women, or the Rashtriya Mahila Kosh, is working exclusively for the poor women. The loans are available solely and entirely to this target group, particularly in the unorganized sector. Their main objectives include to provide and promote the provision of microcredit to poor women for income generation activities, or to use the group concept and provision of credit as an instrument to women's empowerment, socio-economic change and development.
I think, Shivali, in all this you require a business plan. Don't you think so?
Right, sir.
And business plan that can be sent to the schemes, whoever is providing the funding, so that they look at your business plan and they are convinced that this plan is going to succeed and therefore you may get that funding. But it is not necessary that you are always looking at a business plan for generation of funds. It could be that when you make the business plan, you yourself become sure how you are going to implement your entrepreneur business that you are going to start. So let's look at what is business plan. Business plan implies a kind of a strategy which lays down what is our aim and goals. Means you are setting the goal that I am going to manufacture this product or I am going to provide this service, and manufacturing you are giving in time scales that by this time I will do this, this, this and this. It's a very systematic way of approaching how to start a business or an entrepreneurship. Now we come to the second part of it. It will have a number of steps and each step will have their own timelines and outcomes to be achieved. And each outcome would have to have their resources, the human resource, whether it is financial resource or other resources that need to be available. This would also need timelines to be available. You will need to have a marketing plan, you need to have an operational plan, you will need to have a financial plan. Now, if you want to generate funds or resources, then you would be giving an estimate as to what would be the various costs, what would be your contribution towards it, and what funding do you require and how do you propose to return it, because you have to make sure that your business plan comes out as financially viable, which is going to lead to profit from which you could give back that funds that you have taken either as loan or as aid from the government institution or from a ministry. So when you develop a business plan, you have to look at all these aspects, logically present it. It could be 1 page of a summary or it could be 10 pages where you are especially you need to get the funds. And this would have to be given to those agencies which are going to provide you funding. They have to be convinced that your business plan is sound, implementable and profitable. Thank you, Shiva.
So, the other initiatives of the government of India are consortia and tender marketing. Consortia and tender marketing mainly they come for the small enterprises, as the individuals, their capacity to face the problems or to is very limited. To procure and execute the large orders, the consortia and tender marketing can be referred to, which inhibit and restricts their growth. But NSIC, they adopts this approach and forms consortia of units manufacturing the products, thereby easing out the marketing problems of the SSIs. So, cooperation explores the market and secures the orders for the bulk quantities, and they are then distributed to the small units in the production capacity. And obviously, as you said, sir, for any unit to function or any production or manufacturing enterprise to function, there should be a business plan, and business plan must have a proper sequential series of activities and functions and units put together, be it the marketing plan, financial plan, or the operational plan, using the help of the human resources. They all have to be carried out well, but before what's your vision is about your enterprise, they should be put onto the paper in the form of a good format of a business plan and submitted to the appropriate organization for funding and execution of your project or business. So with this, we would like to say here that a good business plan is the key to success of any organization, and it's a half of the project done. If you have got the funding from if your project has got approved and you have got the funding from any of the government organization under any of the scheme, then half of the task is already done. You only have to put the resources together with the help of the men, machinery, and your organization, defined organizational structure. You have to carry out these activities and generate the products or services and finally value for the market and return back to the society. So next is your single point registration for government purchase. NSIC again operates a single point registration scheme wherein the registered small scale units get purchase preference in the government purchase program, exemption from payment of earnest money deposit. Another initiative is B2B web portal for marketing. NSIC Infomagary is a business-to-business portal that has been established to give online services for small and medium time importers, exporters, and service providers in India. The portal is an initiative to provide business opportunities to small business firms and small-scale units to expand further their businesses. Then marketing intelligence systems. Now the corporations have established the marketing intelligence systems also, the special cell which collects and disseminates domestic as well as international marketing intelligence for the benefit of the MSMEs. The cell, in addition to the spreading awareness about various programs, schemes for the MSMEs, maintain database and disseminate information about the marketing of the products or the services. Further, exhibition and technology fairs also provide a good forum wherein marketing can be done, products can be displayed and services can be talked about, and buyer-seller meets happens. There also the entrepreneurs get the support. So with this, I would like to say that the Government of India has already provided so much schemes and initiatives, and NIOS is also offering various training programs in the vocational department which are provide employment opportunities, self-employment opportunities especially, and our director sir has really taken a very good lead into this by offering, coming up with the new schemes of handloom.
Thank you Shivali for praising me. I don't deserve that praise, but what I would request to all the viewers who are watching this program, I want you to get into the NIOS website. I want you to look at the 100+ vocational courses that we are running. I want you to identify your skill that you want to develop so that you can become an entrepreneur. I want you to be the foundation stone on which India becomes the talent capital of the world. I want you to start giving jobs, opportunities to others by starting that business. And for this, have confidence in yourself that you are going to succeed. Come to the NIOS, undertake our 100+ vocational courses. I also want to thank you for taking your vital time out to watch this program. I want to thank all the viewers who have taken out their valuable time so that they could watch this program. And remember that at the end, The success is achieved not merely by hard work and dedication, but the success is achieved by the belief that you have in yourself and the skill that you have to attain that belief. Thank you. Thank you a lot. Jai Hind.